Good evening. Wonderful to see everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm just letting everybody in and then we'll get started in just a moment. While we are just letting in the last couple of people, if you'd like to say hello in the chat, tell us a little bit about yourself in one sentence. What describe yourself, and I'd love to hear what has inspired you to be here today. What's piqued your interest in this program? So feel free to put that into the chat. My name is Alicia Curtis, and I am the facilitator of the Emerging Leaders in Governance program, which started a very long time ago. This is our 13th year of the program, so we're really excited to bring the program to you again in 2026. All right, team, I think we are all in. I hope you can hear me. Oh, fantastic, great. Hi, Christy. Wonderful. All right, team. Well, let's begin our session tonight. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land that we're meeting on today, the Whadjuk Noongar people, and pay our respects to elders past and present. We are huge advocates of diversity on boards, and in particular, age diversity. And so tonight, what I'd like to do is share with you a bit more about the program and make sure that you've got a great understanding of the program. I'd love to talk about the aims, the expectations, how long the program runs for, what's expected of you, to talk about the application process, which we're very excited to open tomorrow, and answer any of your questions here tonight. So anytime during today's session, feel free to pop a question that you've got into the chat or turn on your microphone. We've got lots of people coming in. Welcome, welcome. So lovely to see you. So you're welcome to, turn your microphone on or give me a question in the chat. I'm here for you tonight. I want to share with you this brilliant program that we've developed and really hopefully give you an understanding of whether it's right for you. It's not right for everyone. So we want to make sure that before you spend a bit of time on your application, it isn't a competitive process, that it's the right thing for you as well as for us. And we want to find great matches. And so this is why we spend a bit of time giving you an information session to tell you a little bit more about the program. So we are recording this tonight. So just letting you know that we are recording it tonight, and it's an opportunity just to be able to share more broadly what's happening with the program. Thank you so much to everybody who's put an introduction in the chat. It's really great to see all the different industry backgrounds that people are a part of. And obviously we really look for a diversity in the cohort that we bring together. So it's really important that we bring together people with different industry backgrounds, knowledge areas, and passion areas who want to give back onto boards. So thank you for doing that. All right, let's share a little bit more about the program. So the program has been running, as I mentioned before, since 2013, and it initially began as 3 aged care organisations who came together who wanted to seek more young people on their boards. So this program aims to bring together 20 young people, young professionals under the age of 40 who are keen to get onto boards. Now, the program has expanded from an aged care sector focus to a broader community sector focus. So we have got a wide range of community partners, over 40 community partners, and actually, I'm even having a look at those slides. We've even got more places that have been offered over the last couple of years as well. So I think we're nearly up to about 300 places that have been offered to people now. In the past, we have had even extra programs throughout the year. So a couple of years ago, we were able to run 2 programs per year. But right at the moment, we're currently running just the 1 program a year. It runs from February to May each year. And it gives you that experience of understanding the sector, which we'll go through in a minute. But really, our main goal is to get young professionals onto boards, onto their dream board. That's my goal to, for you to get onto your dream board in the community and aged care sector. So, my first question to you is, what brings you here? What are you passionate about? What expertise have you got that you can contribute and add value onto a board of a community or aged care organisation? It could be anything from drugs and alcohol to sports to education, any field that you're really interested in. We've been there. We've gotten young professionals onto these boards, and it's really exciting now that we have 13 years experience that some of the major organisations around Perth now are not only have one of our participants or our graduates, they have many of our graduates on their boards, and they're not only on the boards, but they're the chairs of the boards now. They're the secretaries and the treasurers. They take up leadership positions. They're even the CEOs of these organisations now. So we're really proud of our alumni. They've done exactly what we've wanted, which is to get onto a board and pay this program forward by their service to the not-for-profit sector. So if we go to the start, what is our strategic direction of this program? It's really to create a world-class not-for-profit sector, and that's underpinned by a strong board governance. Boards are there to direct the vision, the mission, the direction of an organisation. And so by, ensuring that strong board performance, we allow our not-for-profit sector to flourish. And you might have noticed there's a few challenges in the world that need some support, that need some help. And so our not-for-profit sector is a really important third sector in society. And for that to truly flourish, we need diversity on those boards. We need different opinions, backgrounds, expertise coming together to problem solve some of the most complex challenges that we face in society. And so our program really is about facilitating that age diversity on boards. And, we probably facilitate a little bit more broader diversity than just age diversity these days. The 3 extra programs that we got funding for, which I mentioned before, were to seek out further underrepresented groups on boards. So that included a program that focused purely on culturally diverse young women. We've run a program specifically for LGBTIQA+ women and folks. And we've also run a third program that looked at supporting young women with disability or lived experience of disability to get onto boards. So we facilitate probably a bit broader diversity than just age diversity, but in essence, the program brings together 20 young professionals under the age of 40. So we do that by supporting the board, supporting our community partners with board-ready professionals, young professionals. We have over 40 community partners, which are community organisations that support this program, which is a great networking opportunity for our participants. You get to meet the CEOs, you get to meet the board directors, you get to meet the people that are leading at the front line in the site visits. You get to create those partnerships, create those connections within our community partner group, but also you're not limited to those community partners once you start seeking board roles as well. So if you've got a particular organisation in mind, then we encourage you to bring that to the table, and we strategize. We think about what's the best pathway to get onto that board. How are we going? Are there any questions so far about the program? I'm going to quickly scoot through and see who I've got here online. Hello, hello. I know a few people have joined in halfway through. It's so lovely to see everyone. I love the interest. Feel free to introduce yourself on the chat. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in the program. We love sort of getting, a wide range of interest from people to apply for the program. So my role here tonight is to answer any of your questions, ensure that you have a great understanding of the program, and tell you a little bit more about the application process. So feel free to put any questions in the chat or raise your hand, and I'm happy to answer them as we go through tonight's session. All right, so ELGP, the Emerging Leaders in Governance program. So we're really here to support emerging leaders to actively volunteer in our governance and community sector, in the governance and leadership capacity in our not-for-profit sector. And so we have 3 key outcomes from the program. So it's a 4-month program. It's pretty full on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. And that's why, you need to really think about, do you have the right time? Because it does take time and it is quite an intensive program. But many people walk away saying it's one of the best experiences that they've had, training experiences that they've had. So we cultivate and we iterate alongside our participants to ensure that the program's meeting your needs within the program. So we've got 3 key learning outcomes that we really focus in on as part of this experience. So the first one is having a great understanding of the not-for-profit sector, right? Because the sector and governance across the sector is nuanced, right? You've got the theory of board governance, but then you've got the reality, what it means in real life. When you are a board director of an organization that has $20,000 turnover and no staff, or you're a board director of an organization that is a $5 million aged care organization with 30 staff. It's really different depending upon where you play in the not-for-profit sector. So it really takes a great understanding of the sector, the business models of not-for-profit organizations, to play your part as a great board director. So part of the program is giving you an understanding of what the sector looks like, what boards look like in the not-for-profit sector. What are the key challenges of the not-for-profit sector? And how do you play your part as a board director within the not-for-profit sector? We go through what it means to be a good board director. What does good governance look like? And understanding the nuanced role of board directors. We tap into your leadership development so you can bring whatever talents, abilities, perspectives, experiences you have to your role as a board director. So we want you to walk away feeling really comfortable with what you're there to do as a board director. A lot of young professionals come and say to me that they've been invited onto a board, but they feel really worried because they don't really have that understanding of what the board director does. And that's really important. You step in and you take on legal liabilities as a board director. So it's really important that you understand that role. So we give it to you from every angle. We look at what is that strategic direction role of a board director. What are the legal roles of board directors, the financial roles, the risk And we try and give it that perspective, that well-rounded perspective of what you're there to do as a board director. There are different types of board directors that give different types of value. And so it's really important they have that understanding. So you can sort of tap into what type of board director, you will be and how you bring great value to that role to an organization. And the third part of the program, the third outcome of the program, is we want to develop your contacts and networks to help you get a board role into the not-for-profit sector. It's sometimes easy to have the education of what it means to be a board director. It's another thing to get your foot in the door into an organization. And so we try and play a part in creating those connections where people get to know each other. And there's lots of ways that you can do it through all the different events that we host through the program, starting from the launch right through to the graduation event. We have our community partners coming along to those. We run a networking night where boards who are seeking board directors can come along and meet and greet with our participants. But we also have some other opportunities like our board observations, where you go and visit one of our community partners at one of their board meetings. So that gives you a great opportunity to meet a whole board. And we also give you an opportunity to have a one-on-one mentoring session with either a CEO or a board director within the sector. So these are all really important relationship building pieces that help you get onto the boards and serve the organisations that are really close to your heart in where you want to give back. All right, just checking if there's any questions. Feel free to put any questions up as you go. And I'll make sure that we answer those. So I think this is a really important one. What we are and what we're not, right? So we are a program to help you get educated and for you to find the board role to give back. We're an opportunity to develop your networks and your knowledge and expertise. We're not an accredited governance program. There are plenty of organisations that are offering those. So we are looking for people who are usually not on a board already. We're looking for people who are kind of pre-board role. If you're already on a board and you're in the thick of things, then it might be time for you to go seek out an accredited board program. We work with people a few steps back who really want a great understanding of the board role, understanding of the sector, and some connections to get that first board role. We're not a board placement program. So we don't place you on a board to serve, right? We give you a board observation, but we don't place you onto a board. It is up to you to do that work as part of your post-program experience. And, we do have a few participants who end up getting on boards throughout the program just because of the knowledge that they gain through the program. It's really important that you find a board role that really fits what you're looking for and that you do the due diligence required before you join a board. I will support you with what that due diligence process might look like. I can support you by sharing board opportunities as they come up, but it's up to you to apply for that board, do the interview, talk to the people, and get on to find that board role that's right for you. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. We're also not just a career development or a leadership program. If you're looking for a leadership program experience, there's plenty of organisations out there who are doing that. We are really looking for people who are looking to serve on boards and who are really keen to utilise the knowledge and the information of the program to get their first board role. So that's what we're searching for. We're searching for 20 people who are ready to put up their hand and say, yep, this is for me. I'm really ready to put the time and effort into serving a board and serving an organisation. It's not a volunteer role that should be taken on lightly, and it does take a lot of time. So you've got to have time and space in your life. Usually, people will spend between 1 and 3 days a month on their board roles, right? So just think about that in the whole scheme of your life and whether you can commit to that, because that's essentially what time commitment it takes to serve on a board. So if you're ready to jump on a board, if you're wanting that knowledge and those connections, then this is the right program for you. Okay. So commitment of the program. So before you get onto a board and serve that commitment, what's the commitment of this program? So we have a 4-month program, and we would say that it usually takes about 100 to 120 hours over that 4 months. Okay, so about 5 to 7 hours a week we estimate, and participants have told us, and that includes everything from your pre-workshop reading, attending your workshop, which is every Wednesday night after work from 6 to 8:30. It includes a couple of weekend sessions, so we have a couple of things that you do on the weekends. You've got a group project, which you'll meet with your group a couple of times, again, outside of workshop hours. And you've also got a couple of, aside, as well as the group project, you've got a couple of personal leadership challenges that you complete as part of the program. So that's, when we add all of that up, including board observation and site visits and mentoring, takes about 100 hours. So that's why I say, consider it carefully. Have a look at the dates in your diary. It's all laid out in the prospectus that we've developed, and it's on our website. So you can have a look. We've got all the dates ahead, so you can put those into your diaries, and you can sort of see if there are any conflicts. For example, if you can't make the weekend retreat that we have, which is a residential weekend retreat, then it's probably not the right year for you to apply. You really want to make the most of this experience. And, all of our previous participants, our graduates, they make the time to make the most of this experience, and they get the most out of the program when they're ready and willing to put the time and effort in. And it is that program where people are really passionate about this. They really want to learn. So if you're kind of half-hearted, you really kind of stick out in the crowd. So you don't want to be one of those people. You want to be people who are ready to make the most of this experience and learn from each other. People say that, the networks that they develop even within their cohort are just some of the best and most unique connections that they make in life. So we really do build a community within our cohort where you can support each other inside and outside of the program. All right, so some of these program events which I've mentioned, we have our weekly evening workshops. Most of them will be in Manning. We are just currently confirming that we will hopefully in 2026 also have a north of the river workshop venue. So we'll be split up north and south. So if you come from the north, you're in luck. You'll have a couple of sessions north of the river. And then we've got our Manning workshop venue, which is Southcare, who will also have half the sessions too. We have a weekend retreat as part of the program, sort of within the first, I think, 4 or 5 weeks of the program. And that's sort of like a 40-minute drive from Perth. And we start on a Friday night and we finish early on a Sunday afternoon. We've got one Saturday, which we fill up with site visits with some of our community partners, our incredible community partners who come in on their weekend to come and share with you some of the challenges, some of the highlights, what it means to run a not-for-profit organisation. And half the time you roll up your sleeves and you help out doing something practical as part of the site visits. We have a number of panel discussions during the program which allow you to meet key leaders within the sector to talk about some of the current complexities of the sector and what boards are really grappling with, basically. And then we have things like networking nights, opportunities for you to connect. As I mentioned, we have 4 program challenges which help you really understand your board role. So those include the board observation and the mentoring, one-on-one mentoring. You've also got a self-awareness and leadership development challenge. You've got a board resume. So by the end of the program, you'll have a board resume ready to go to support you in getting that board role. And then the group project is where you focus on different governance topics and share that within your smaller group. So we've got 20 participants as the full program cohort, and then you'll get into smaller groups of 5, 4 groups of 5. And you will support each other in your governance knowledge as well. And those are some of the fantastic ways of really connecting a little bit further, a little bit deeper with your cohort. So any questions, team? How are we feeling? You're all still online, so that's good. I haven't scared away too many people yet. Let me know if you've got any questions. All right, so program expectations. So what are we looking for? We're looking for people who are committed and ready to take on a board role. So, that's number one. We really want to support people who want to be board ready. So if you're ready to take on a board role, it is worthwhile just having an understanding of what it means to play at that level, and ensuring that you've got the time to contribute to that. And that's why I mentioned the commitment of a board director being sort of between 1 and 3 days a month, depending upon the board roles that you take on, because not everybody has that time. So you want to kind of have an understanding of what you're wanting to get into before you even do our program, to make sure that it's something that you can take on after the program. We know that when people attend all parts of our program, they get the most out of the program. So if you can't make, a particular part of the program, like the retreat or the Saturday site visits, I would say hold off and apply, the following year, or prioritize this program, because the people who get the most from the program are the people who turn up and who are fully committed to each and every part of the program. And really, we're looking for great ambassadors. We have such an incredible alumni group. As I mentioned before, they are the board chairs of our, amazing community organisations around Perth these days. Some of them moved regionally, are serving on boards regionally. It's a really incredible program to be part of, not just within your cohort, but just as a wider alumni. Once people know that you've done ELGP in the community, it has a really positive reputation. So it's wonderful to be part of that, and we really expect our alumni to hold themselves in a way that is in line with what is expected of the program. So there's a level of credibility that comes with this program. So we want you to be great ambassadors for the program when you go off and be board directors. We want you to be exceptional board directors, not just mediocre board directors. So we're looking for people who can stand up and be that great role model and ambassador more broadly after the program. So let me talk about the program fees. So we've created two fees. The program fee is separated into two parts. One is an organizational fee, so the fee from your organization, which is $5,000, and then a personal $500 fee. So the total fee of the program is $5,500, and that includes all your workshops, program experiences, catering, all of those sorts of things. There are scholarships available for the organizational fee. So there's a full scholarship of $5,000 and a partial scholarship for $2,500. And you can indicate your interest for those scholarships in your program application. And that's separate to whether you get in or not. So we base all applications separately. And then we go in and we see what funding that we've got available from our community partners who basically donate to the program. So our program is partly funded by our community partners. They give a financial as well as in-kind donation to the program. And so those financial donations go towards funding scholarships for the organisational fee. So we really encourage everybody to talk to their employers first and foremost, because you really want to let them know that you're applying for a program like this, because you want to make sure that you're on time every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. And that might mean, depending upon when you finish work, that you might need to leave work a little bit earlier on a Wednesday. Or if you work on weekends, you need to make sure that you've got those dates free to attend the program. So we really encourage you to talk to your employer. Talk to them about the transferable skills that you will receive as part of this program. It is an incredible governance and leadership program. Lots of people walk away with an incredible sense of confidence, increased skill levels that support not only their governance journeys, but their career journeys as well. So there is, huge value for your employer if you get chosen to be part of this program. So if you have a professional development budget that can be put towards this program, then that will obviously help us continue to run the program that we have run. So it's if you haven't got that there, you've got the opportunity to apply for a scholarship as well. Some of you might be working in the not-for-profit sector, and you may not have that professional development budget. If you've got any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to have a chat about how those scholarships work. Testimonials, these are just two. We've got obviously hundreds of testimonials now of people who have been through the program. As I mentioned before, so many people walk away with just like a new sense of confidence, increased skills, not only that knowledge around governance, but that understanding of their own personal leadership journey, their values, their personal purpose in life, how they communicate in teams. It's quite a well-rounded leadership experience. And then it really just gives you an opportunity to sort of step into some incredible boards. So Callie, who is there on the screen, right from the beginning, she had a clear board that she wanted to get onto. And she went after it, after the program, after all the knowledge and skills she built, and is now sitting on that board, which is Relationships WA. They weren't a community partner. They are a community partner now. But it just shows you that, if you've got a board in mind, if you've got a cause in mind, we're looking for people who have done a little bit of that thinking, who are, ripe because we can help you. We can help you get there. So I definitely encourage you to check out our website because there is a lot of information there about previous programs. Read the annual reports. It'll give you stories of our past participants. Go to our YouTube, go and have a look at some of the video testimonials of the program. Read more about, what we offer as the program experience. Hopefully everybody on the call has had access to the prospectus. If not, that is on the website too, and we'll send that out to you, I think, as well as part of after this information session. Have a good read through the prospectus. As I mentioned, it gives you all the dates for next year's program. So there's really no ambiguity around program dates because we've got them all there. It gives you a good understanding of what's included in the program. It talks a little bit more about those program challenges, which I mentioned. It has a whole lot more of our testimonials from previous participants, what we're looking for in, people who come and be part of the program, and a little bit more about that program application process. So let me talk a little bit about the applications now. So they can be found on the website as well. We open them tomorrow, and you've got until the 9th of October to get them in. It is a pretty comprehensive application because we don't do any in-person interviews as part of the application process. So your application is your way of showing us who you are, why you're interested, and why we should choose you. Okay. And as I said, it is a competitive application process. We've got 20 positions, and we usually get a whole lot more than that apply. Some really great people who some people have applied for multiple years to try and get into the program. And, I try and give as much as I can back to people about their application form. So if you've got any questions about the application questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy. I won't review any applications, though. I have been asked that before, but I can't do that. But I'm happy to answer any questions that you've got about the questions. But really, it's really your opportunity to put your best foot forward as part of the application experience. So take note of the word count. Use your word count really wisely, and be really specific about some of the experiences that you've had before, what you can bring to both the program and to a board role. We are looking for people who we think have got it all ready to put together to be able to serve onto a board. So this is your opportunity to really show us a little bit of your understanding of yourself and board roles, so you can give back. So as I say, it is a competitive process. Make sure you spend the time. So you've got until the 9th. Don't wait until the 9th to put it in, because a lot of people wait till the 9th, and sometimes people get stressed out right at the end with the technology. It is a Survey Monkey form. We encourage you to have your own, keep your own copy of your application, because the next day after the 9th, we will give you a confirmation that your application has been received. You won't get that straight after you put in your application. You'll get it right at the end on the 10th of October to say, yep, we've received it. Okay, so keep your copy of your application just in case anything happens with, the tech behind the scenes. Don't put it in tomorrow either, right? Don't have a look at the application and all the questions, fill it in as quickly as you can, and press send. Take a moment just to step back and have a think about the questions that we're asking. maybe write it all out and go and check in with a great mentor or friend of yours and get them to read through it. Okay, so these are just the little tips that I would recommend to make sure that you put your best foot forward when you're applying for the program. So it's really an opportunity for you just to think about those questions, how you can answer them in the best ways possible. Take your time. Don't wait until right at the end, maybe a few days beforehand, a week beforehand, put in your application, then just put a note in your diary just to make sure that you've received that confirmation email from me to say that we have received your application on the 10th of October. It really is a pleasure to get to read through all the applications of the program, to hear people's interest areas, what they want to give back to as part of the community. So, I really encourage you to take, some good time to really think about that. And look, if you get in, fantastic. If you miss out, don't take it personally, and really think about maybe the year after putting in another application, because we do really value people who try again in the second or third year, depending upon how many applications that we get, because we are limited to 20 participants per program. It's a wonderful program. What else can I tell you? I'm slightly biased being the facilitator of it, but we really have a wonderful experience together. We get to, meet and listen to the most incredible leaders in the not-for-profit sector. And we're so super proud of our graduates who go on to do amazing things in the not-for-profit sector. As we're leading up to AGM season right at the moment here in Perth, it's so wonderful to hear from participants who've been through the program just this year. So just graduated a couple of months ago, and to hear of all the board roles that they are now stepping into or getting appointed or elected to throughout this AGM season. So, that's what it's about. It's about really helping you be able to give back and contribute to causes that really are meaningful to you. So that's what we're here to do. So that's everything that I've got for tonight. So please, if you've got questions, feel free to put them in the chat or raise your hand. Happy to answer any questions now. So I'll give you a minute just to have a think about that.
I'd like to endorse your comments, Alicia. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Hello.
I'm representing the Rotary Club of Como, and we've been a partner with Southcare and your program for many, many years. And for all
Yes,
those leaders,
Ross.
all those guys and girls listening, this is a worthy exercise. Well proven, results speak for themselves. And it comes from sponsored from Southcare, which is a major not-for-profit. And we're not talking about Mickey Mouse organizations here. We're talking about major, well-proven groups which have got their heart in the right place. That's the motivation, as I see it. That is, we're not interested in feathering the nests of shareholders. This is about putting a shoulder to the wheel for the community, and any profits, all the effort goes in to make lives better for other people. That's what not-for-profits do, and it builds the community for all the right reasons. If you care about people, if you care about where you live, and you can do something on a board because you have a voice on a board. So if you're inspired to get out into the world and make a difference in the world, you can only do that from a board perspective. And this program gives you the rocket fuel, gives you the background, the connection to do it. So I totally endorse it. And our Rotary Club will maintain its role as a community partner. Keep up the good work, Alicia.
Oh, thank you, Ross. How wonderful to have you here in the room. Ross is an incredible leader, community leader, and education leader. former principal, and does some great work in our local community. So it's really wonderful to have you here online. And thank you so much for that personal, that endorsement of our program. Really appreciate it. That's what it's about, connecting you with people like Ross who have such experience in our community, and knowledge and experiences to share. And so many of our mentor partnerships end up staying much longer than just the program. So we have people who keep in touch with their mentors as part of the program for many years after. I see photos up on LinkedIn and Facebook of mentor partnerships that have lasted, gosh, maybe nearly 10 years. So we have, such incredible generosity of our community partners who give back to this program. And that's one of the most special parts of this program. People are there, like Ross, coming tonight. People are there because they genuinely care. They've got incredible experience to share, and they actually really want to learn from you as well as participants. And so there's this beautiful humility of us all learning from each other in service to something greater than ourselves. And as you say, Ross, it really helps you to make a difference in your local community. I really encourage people to look around in their local community within, 5-10 minutes of themselves, where they live, and what are the community organisations that they can give back to in their local area. Start there. And then work your way out depending upon your interest areas. So it's really lovely to have you here, Ross. Thank you so much for that. Team, is there any other questions that I can answer for you? If you've got a particular question, feel free to put it in the chat, or feel free to put your hand up, turn your mic on. I'm happy to answer any questions if you've got anything else that you want to share. No? Are we done? Are we there? I think we are. All right, team. Well, next steps, you'll get an email with all the application details. You'll get an email with the prospectus if you haven't read it through already. If you've got any other questions, now that we'll open up the applications from tomorrow, if you've got any other questions about the application or the program, feel free to reach out. Probably email's probably the best to get me on, but I think all my details, my phone, mobile, and my email are on the prospectus. So feel free to reach out. Happy to chat to make sure it's the right program for you. We want great matches for you and us. Wonderful to hear that you have gained a lot from tonight's information session. Thank you so much for those comments. That's great. All right, well, I look forward to reading your application. Get it in, make it good, give yourself every chance to get into our next program. If you want to connect in with some of our previous participants, our graduates, happy to connect you with some of our graduates who can share a little bit more about their experiences of the program. In the prospectus, there's heaps of testimonials from the program too. All right, team, I'll leave you there. Good night. Thank you so much for spending your time listening in the program tonight. I will read your applications in a couple of months' time. Take care. See you then. Bye-bye.